Access to technology is no longer a luxury but a necessity in today's world. Yet, many schools, especially in rural areas, still face significant challenges in bridging the digital divide. At Mwani Secondary School in Sultan Ahmad, Makueni County, this digital divide is a present-day challenge that impacts both students and teachers. While technology continues to shape education globally, here, in this rural community, the gap is real, and it affects every aspect of learning.
I'm David Mutruku, Form 4. Yeah, I think they are not informed. Let's say for example, like in Mango, that kid is informed. He knows more about apps, setting everything. But here, let's say for our school, we're not more informed. Like we say, I'm from Coast, I find somebody here from here within, or a county like Kajiado, let's say for example. He's not intelligent, he cannot use, you take him to a computer, you find him is let's say not, I'm quoting my word, illiterate. Yeah, that's...
So they're not informed?
Yeah.
Students here, their backgrounds makes it difficult to access digital tools. Limited financial resources, lack of infrastructure, and even the absence of a reliable internet connection in their homes are significant barriers.
I'm Festus Mondo, I'm Form 4. Then, from my own side, I would like to say that some of the peoples or students, they live in local areas where there is no network connection. Then it will be difficult for them to have those devices and control them because there is no network connection.
These students, despite their eagerness to learn, face an uphill struggle because they do not have the devices or connectivity they need to fully engage in their studies.
Sometimes we don't have support, something like that. Yeah, and even the area, if you check, there is no network connection. But if we can have support, maybe there will be something different.
The result, they find themselves left behind, unable to access online resources, educational platforms, and other digital tools that are essential for modern education.
I'm Queen Denya, I'm a Form 4. Concerning about that internet on my own, I see some of us here at Mwani, we come from local, poor backgrounds, where our parents can't afford those internet devices. They can't afford a phone where you can get the past papers for your revision. So if we could have come from rich families, let me say, we could have those phones, laptops, computers to improve our studies.
This digital divide is not just an inconvenience, it's a barrier to their success. In fact, statistics shows that approximately 3.7 billion of people worldwide are still offline, with a large percentage of them residing in rural or undeveloped regions. In Africa alone, only about 33% of the population has internet access, and in many rural areas, the number drops even further.
I'm Veronica, Form 2. So there's these challenges that they are faced like us in Mwani. So we don't have Mwani, we don't have those computer rooms or computer classes. What I can ask so that you can those from rich areas can provide for us and so that even when the exams may come, you know that from Mangu have more knowledge than those us on Mwani. So what you can ask, we can provide us that more computer room.
The lack of digital access is even more stark in schools where resources to support modern learning tools are limited. These numbers highlight the urgent need for action to bridge the gap and create equal opportunities for all students, no matter their geographic or socio-economic backgrounds.
My name is Sharon Dan, Form 3. I say yes because we are ready for it. It's not that we are not ready for it because we don't have them, we don't access them. We could have the internet device, we could access and read more, like going online classes, things like that, getting past papers, and we could improve in our school.
There's something about that provision, like the principal of the school provision can gather the parents and tell them to contribute so that we can get some of those devices. Even if they are not many, we can get a few of them so that we can help ourselves.
Now she's talking of apart from the administration, we have the parents and we have the education stakeholders. But the challenges don't stop with the students. Teachers at Mwani Secondary School also face significant difficulties in adapting to the digital age. So maybe you can introduce yourself, tell us who you are and maybe what you teach.
Okay, Mr. Katua, I do teach here at Mwani Geography Business.
Geography business. Thank you, Mr. Katua, and we privileged to have you today in our today's session. And maybe quickly you can just tell us, we're talking about digital divide, whereby there's a gap in education when it comes to matters, technology and stuff. So maybe you can tell us here at Mwani, do you guys have access to modern infrastructures like the internet, the Wi-Fi, those computers? Yeah.
So for me, here in Mwani we have a small gap, not that big, because we have access to Wi-Fi, we have some computers. Yeah, that is, we can access, but not to the students, no, mostly.
Oh,
yeah.
Only the staff can.
Only the staff.
Oh, yeah. And how does that feel for you as a teacher when you are here and you can only have access to maybe like 2 or 3 computers?
So sometimes there's a challenge because we might want to introduce something which needs to be digital, that you can maybe show them the student through the media, but you cannot. Like for example, in geography, that is when I'm teaching, there are some things which you can just show them and they understand. But when you come, sometimes you are just explaining and they are completely not understand what you are trying to tell them. Yeah, so there's a problem with that. And also the computer, they are just few, which means if you are to show the students, it will take a lot of time. Yeah.
And what do you think can be done to improve the infrastructure in terms of technology here at Mwani Secondary School?
So the only thing I think can be done here is just adding the number of maybe the computers and other let's say projectors and laptops.
And maybe because maybe this will perhaps go to the principal's office and it's a concern that needs to be raised.
Yeah.
How would you assure the office that if these things are brought here at Mwani, then academically wise we will have to improve? How will you ensure that you improve yourself?
Yeah, when these, like let's say now, when the students are able to access let's say those information from the computers now, they are able to research more on maybe something, which means they will improve academically. Yeah.
So that one will bring a difference.
Yeah, it will boost.
If today we get to have a new computer, maybe not 1, not even 2, like let's say 10 of them, there will be a change.
It will going to boost their performance on much of them or most of the subjects.
That's good of you. And maybe Mr. Kato, you can tell us, do we have any local government initiatives who are here to help end this thing of uncivilization in terms of technology?
So for me to be sincere on that, I have no knowledge in that area.
Well, that's good of you. So thank you for your time, and maybe you can tell us how you cope up with this situation. As you said that you are a business geography teacher. I know in geography there are a lot of mappings and stuff, and nowadays these mappings we do them online, and there's this class that's just about to get out there and they're just about to get to the campus. How are you preparing the students?
So to say, generally there's a problem, but I try as as much as I can to maybe sometimes to show them. For example, kama ni volcanicity, I show them through my phone. Yeah, all the processes through my phone. But there's a big problem.
There's a problem because you see that if you're using a phone, privacy again. There's no privacy here. Despite their dedication, struggle to incorporate technology into their lessons. The lack of reliable digital resources makes it harder for them to provide an engaging, up-to-date education.
I'm Mutinda Carlos, a teacher at Mwani Secondary School. I teach mathematics and physics, and I think that is all about myself.
Thank you, Mr. Mutinda. And today we are here to discuss about digital divide. And basically we've seen there's a division in education when it comes to matters technology. So maybe you can tell us, you can define what is in your own context, what is digital divide in Mwani Secondary School?
Digital divide in Mwani, so we can simply talk about the technological part of education, maybe in terms of to the technology. You know, we have moved from a distance of some analog times when we had the talks of maybe some computers, the laptops, and maybe the telephone. I mean the phones. The use of this technology in these schools. You find that in most of these schools, they have come up with this the use of computers in teaching, and we are trying to move our students from the analog part, and then we are trying to come up with some light in this internet connection. So maybe in that I talk of maybe internet divide in that.
Well, talking of computers here at Mwani, maybe you can tell us if maybe you've got some access to some computers, because we've seen, and it's something that's happening, that nowadays students are having access to learning, e-learning through maybe those internet devices like computers. Maybe you can tell us, do you have some access to some of them? Or
maybe the teachers have some access to those computers and laptops, but now when it comes to the students, maybe that technology has not yet come to our school. So that is maybe a limitation to our students.
Well. And now as a physics and a mathematics teacher, I understand that as a physician, there are so many statistics that you're supposed to do and analyze so many things in terms of when it comes to maybe doing some graphics and stuffs. So how do you go about, because you've told us that only the teachers have access to those computers. How do you go about that as a teacher? Because there are things that they are unexplainable, if I can say. It's a bit difficult to explain to your student. So how do you go about that?
You find that in most of those things that you have to explain to the students, it's a bit challenging. Because now, if at all we do not have these computers, and maybe the laptops in our school, you find that I cannot explain such a thing. Maybe what I do, I take my laptop to that class and maybe I show them it, and then I try to explain. But you find that it is a bit challenging.
Wow, it's a bit tricky, we can feel that. And maybe the last question on your bit, being a mathematics and a physics teacher, there are those students who maybe you find that a student has gone ahead, maybe their parents or their guardians have access to these modern technology devices, and then they are asking a question, and there's another student in the same class who have no idea, they don't have an idea of what's going on. Then you as a teacher, how do you balance these equations? Because there are two different students here. How do you manage to balance these equations?
So to balance it, you talk of maybe starting from somewhere, the base. You talk of the basis of something. So maybe if a student asks something that is maybe to a level that these other students cannot understand, maybe you start from the base. You start from defining that thing, and then you bring that student to the limelight of what the other student are talking about. Yes, and then after you bring this student to the limelight about that thing, now you can explain about that thing to the students after working hand in hand. Huyu amejua na huyu akajua. And that way you get to help the students.
And maybe you can tell us now as a director or as a teacher there, and have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're finding it difficult to explain something to do with technology to your students?
Exactly, yes, because some of these contents that are found in these technological devices, maybe it is a bit challenging to the students. And then you find that for me to explain it to them, it is a challenge because you try to explain and they are not getting what you mean. Yes, and some of these things, they are a bit tricky. And then you find that you are explaining, but now the students are like, we are not getting what you mean. Yes.
Maybe what percentage of your students are in a position to deal or to handle the modern technology stuff?
Maybe we talk of 50-50, maybe 50% cannot, maybe 50% can. Yes.
Teachers recognize the importance of digital literacy, but without the necessary tools or training, they are often left with limited ways to teach these skills. Well, we would wish that you introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and thank you for your time and what you teach here at Mwani Secondary School.
I'm Madam Maite. I'm a teacher of English and Literature here at Mwani Secondary School.
Thank you, Madam Maite. You can just hear the English. It's just wow. But we would thank you for creating time for us. And today we're talking about digital divide. And here we're just specializing on how the modern technology has divided students in terms of education-wise. So maybe you can tell us as a teacher, are there trainings that you think can be integrated and they can help you as a trainer for others?
I believe our teachers, most of them are trained, especially when it comes to things to deal with the internet and technology. Even in past secondary education, most teachers had their computer studies, they are qualified, most of them have the knowledge of computer and dealing with computers. Yeah.
So, and for them, those maybe they have a little knowledge about, because we have the millennials with the Gen Zs, the Alpha and stuff. And as we have now, as it is now, the Gen Zs are so sharp when it comes to technology matters. So how do you cope up with them, the millennials?
Yeah, it's quite a challenge, but our school has a computer. So we try as much as we can to enlighten them and to help them, especially when they have challenges to work with the computers, working with their smartphones. We play a role in helping them, and I believe as per now, there are some, you can't just say that they don't have the knowledge. They are better off. They're better off because as Mwani, we have a computer. Most teachers have smartphones. So the Gen Zs play their part in helping them, and they're good, as I can say.
And so we can be sure that they are also good when it comes to teaching their subjects. They're good in handling matters technology.
I believe when a teacher gets a question and maybe the question needs maybe to Google, and maybe the teacher is not so enlightened about the internet, they ask for help, especially the ones you're saying, the millennials. They ask for the help, and they use their smartphones, and they come and show the students whatever they get from the internet.
Now, Madam, as an English lit teacher, what can you do, or what can be done? Because I understand that we have students from different backgrounds, and there are those from backgrounds which cannot even have access to even a smartphone. How do you deal with such a student?
Our school has installed Wi-Fi, and as I've told you, we have a computer. So a number of students, those who are very curious, although we don't have computer classes, but we have students who are very curious and they want to know more about the internet, about technology. So they come and use this computer. So the internet is there throughout. So they get to the computer and use it. They access different information from the internet. Yeah, especially those who can't get the smartphones at home. Here in school, they get a chance to access the internet. Yeah.
But again, do you feel that this is a gap because you're talking of a computer, meaning it's one, and the population is high.
Yeah.
So meaning there's a gap.
Yeah.
There's some challenges when it comes to these students dealing with this computer.
Yeah, it's a major challenge because you get the students who want to access a computer are so many. There are so many, and the computer is just one. So we face that challenge. If we have donors who can donate maybe a computer, or people who are very inspired to help kids out here to learn more about the internet, to know more, they can donate to our school. Yeah.
Now, there's that student who feels like, now that because I'm from a background that can't have access to a smartphone, or I'm not well developed in terms of my parents cannot afford these stuff, and they feel left out. What do you do with those students? Because there are those that pity themselves, if I can say that. They feel like, I'm not supposed to be here because Fulani has access to modern technology, and as for me, I cannot manage that. And they feel like maybe I'm in the wrong place. How do you deal with such a student?
I think the best thing we do as teachers is to motivate these students. We cannot all be equal. We come from different sources, at different backgrounds, but you find, we always say education is the equalizer, right? Yeah. So the moment this student is able to access information from the internet and knows how to use the internet, the same internet that the student will use in our school, in that one computer, is the same internet that the other student can access back at their home. So as long as that one computer is available in our school, and any student challenges them themselves and they want to learn something about the internet and to know things, they are as good as those who have them at home.
Sure.
Yeah.
In conversation with the teachers, we hear their frustration and determination. They are committed to their students' success, but lack of access to technology severely limits their ability to innovate in their classrooms. They face difficulties in sourcing teaching materials, engaging with students outside school hours, and preparing them for workforce that increasingly requires digital skills. The students too have spoken up. They have reached out to educational stakeholders, government bodies, non-governmental organizations, and other relevant parties to bring to attention the challenges they face.
I think the principal to talk to the government or the governor to access for us the internet devices.
Their message is clear. They need action. They need support to overcome the barriers that prevent them from fully participating in the digital age. They believe that with the right resources and opportunities, they can thrive academically and succeed in a world where digital skills are vital.
Yeah, my name is Jacob Mamalai. I'm from 3. The big problem effect of this money, we don't have the classes of computer.
So are the teachers, apart from you lacking the classes, are the teachers willing to,
We do not have the teachers teaching us computer.
My name is Margaret Mole from 3. Is that we don't have enough space for the building computers because you can see our area, but also we don't have the teachers for teaching us computers. In complaining about the classes or of computers, also we can complain about the teachers because we don't have teachers of teaching computers. Yes, and also we can complain about our compound so that our compound is small. Yeah.
My name is Dorcas Ndani. I'm in Form 2.
You can, yeah.
We in our school, we are all of us. We come. Some of us come from poor backgrounds, and we cannot afford these things. And those from big backgrounds, they have the devices, and they read past papers and they perform well. And us here, we should find for revision books to study, and even some we can't find them. So it's not hatuwezi yani, kuna venye yani wanapita na sisi hatupiti juu hizo vitu hatuwezi pata sisi wote.
I was asking, what if like, do you know like a pace setter, the thing which Mokaya Junior advertises, the pace setter. Maybe when you go back to the hoods, talk about to like to your friends back in CTEC, tell them that let's go like and prepare something. We go and even teach our colleagues who are like in this school who cannot have who have desire to know computer or technology but they cannot get to know it. Let's go teach them, like create a day, create time for them. Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah, we can. This guy is requesting again that the IT gurus get a time and come teach them IT stuff, and I'm sure he is watching someone somewhere as a mentor, and I'm sure that you're going to get help, and in terms of IT wise and technology matters, you're going to get help. And that would be something done together, because that's why we are here today, to address some concerns as those. Because as much as you are here at school at Mwani, you also need a mentor, someone you can look forward to, someone you can hear from, you know? Yeah, so anyone with another question, Miss ladies, you want to ask something? You good? So before we conclude, maybe you can tell the administration something, anyone who has something to tell the administration, and yeah, we will begin from her. Tell the administration something, what that you think they need to do with the school.
I think they have to talk to the governor to see how they can put some devices and come to bring to Mwani, so that we can be taught by the teachers, and we can learn more how to use the devices.
Yeah, first I want to thank the administration for bringing new internet people. Yeah, let me call you that. Yeah. I thank you for coming here, and I would like to ask them, yeah, like she has said, they have to look for support and to bring those internet accesses to us. Those are eager to know about computer, everything. Yeah, I was asking for that.
All right. And now, as we conclude, as they say, you hold my hand today, I do it tomorrow. And it's a plea from Mwani Secondary School that the administration gets to look, or they get to find support from education stakeholders on matters internet, so that they can improve maybe their performances and stuff. So it's a plea from the students here that they're going to look for the stakeholders, and some infrastructures are going to be set so that some improvements in terms of the academics will be seen when it comes to matters internet. Bridging the digital divide is not just about providing technology, it's about creating equal opportunities for all. It's about ensuring that no student, regardless of their backgrounds or location, is left behind in the world where technology plays a central role in education. By addressing the gap, we are not only providing access to tools, but also fostering growth, innovation, and a more inclusive future. Together, we can ensure that schools like Mwani Secondary School are not left behind. Well, thank you. We've had an amazing moment here at Mwani Secondary School, and today we dived into digital divide, where we were talking about how the modern technology has divided students, and we got to hear from the teachers and the learners their take about the matter. I've been your host, Miriam Wambua.